Good morning, world. There's two things that stood out to me from the book. The first one is the check engine light analogy, and the second one was the fact that the patients had no cancer. So I'll start with the first one. So the analogy that the author is giving is he's basically saying if you took your car to a mechanic and there was this flashing check engine light on your car and the mechanic said, yeah, I can fix that, and takes the fuse out, okay, and says, okay, now you got no problem, your problem is solved. Or let's say if you have a knocking sound in your engine, and imagine your mechanic suggesting, well, turn up the radio, and then he goes to you, do you hear it now? And you reply to the mechanic, well, I kind of still hear it. And he goes back to you, well, put some earmuffs on. And then you finally say, no, now I don't hear it. And the mechanic goes, okay, perfect. You haven't done anything to the engine, have you? So in those kind of scenarios, what would you normally do? You'd probably, most likely, you'd fire the mechanic, right? But that's exactly what the doctors do. What they do is they've got a problem and they're covering it up with a drug to cover up the symptoms a person doesn't feel or experience the negative. It's pretty much the body's own mechanism of information saying, hey, caution, there's a problem. And that's what the cancer is. And it's not somebody saying, hey, wake up. It's more like a punch in the face saying, wake the fuck up. And people sometimes still don't get it. It's a bit gloomy today, eh? A bit of rain. Seems like the weather's back to normal. Damn! Seems like a cycling event, eh? I wonder what's the distance. Bro, how cool would it be to do the Ironman one day? Honestly, I reckon that would definitely be a goal, to complete an Ironman. Probably, I would say you'd start with something like doing a marathon, and then just slowly building that up, and then maybe doing like a cycling event, and then after that, because I think part of Ironman as well, you do running, you do cycling, and I think it's swimming as well. Yeah, one day.
I didn't want to see you when you came home, 'cause you always try to hurt me, and that's so low. When I talk to you about it, you're in defense mode. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. How can we work on ourselves when you say no? Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I'll never go on like this, so don't you think you got me up? Yeah, I can't seem to deal with this. You try so hard to pull me in.
So I spoke to someone at work, and apparently, so the best way to get into those endurance stuff like triathlons and Ironman and all that kind of stuff is to start with something basic. For example, you'd go and start with a half marathon, which is only 21k, and then after that you'd go and do the full marathon, which is 40 something. With the Ironman, it's very similar to marathons as well. From what I understand, you can go and do half Ironman, which should only take you a couple of hours instead of taking you the whole day. So it would be really interesting to get into that kind of stuff and just look into it and see what it's all about, and maybe somewhere down the line do one of those things. Maybe start with a half marathon just to tick the box, and then do the full marathon, and then do triathlons and Ironmans. That'd be really cool.
When I talk to you about it, you're in defense mode. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. How can we work on ourselves when you say no? Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I'll never go on like this, so don't you think you got me up? Yeah, I can't seem to deal with this. You try so hard to pull me in.
So upgrading all the gear over the weekend while I have time.